Ever seen Captain Holt behave straight? These undercover missions with straight Holt will make you laugh out loud. So Captain Holt, who is openly gay by the way, had to sometimes pretend to be straight for a few undercover missions. This was a big deal because it meant he had to act differently than his usual self. To get ready, Holt took his preparation seriously. He studied how straight men behave, talk, and carry themselves. He practiced these behaviors so that he could blend in and not raise any suspicions. In the first scene, Captain Holt and Amy are gearing up for a super sneaky mission like something straight out of a spy movie. They're all serious and focused, ready to pull off a quick and clever heist. Amy, with a determined look on her face, promises everyone we only need 3 minutes tops. She's got a plan, and she's confident it'll work like a charm. So what was their main goal? It was to get their hands on a phone. But here's the twist. For this plan to go off without a hitch, they needed a distraction. Enter Captain Holt, the master of seriousness. Holt's job is to create a big enough distraction to keep everyone's eyes off Rosa while she does her thing. As they huddle together, plotting and scheming, Holt drops a bombshell. During his mission, he won't be his usual stoic self. Nope, he's going undercover. He transforms into Joe Wozniacki, a guy who's visiting his girlfriend in prison. Holt, who's usually the epitome of calm and collected, pretends to be a regular Joe. In the next scene, we meet neighbors Greg and Larry. But guess who they are? Captain Holt and Jake decide to go undercover with Rosa on a secret mission. To pull it off without raising suspicion, they need to become totally different people, Greg and Larry. Holt, being his usual precise self, plans everything down to the smallest detail. He insists they can't use their real names or act like their usual selves. Ergo, Greg and Larry are born. Greg, still sad about his wife's recent passing, and he's pouring his heart out to Larry, who's being a real buddy, nodding along and offering comfort. Greg's voice is heavy with sorrow as he talks about his late wife, and Larry's there with a supportive shoulder to lean on. But then, just like that, their chat takes a turn. They switch gears and start talking about regular neighbor stuff. You know, the kind of things neighbors always end up discussing. Greg mentions something about fixing the fence they share, and Larry jumps right in, talking about hammers and nails like it's the most important thing in the world. Their conversation is so casual, just two guys talking about life and fences, but there's a lot more going on beneath the surface. Despite the fence talk, the bond between them is clear. Greg appreciates having someone like Larry to talk to, someone who listens to his grief and still keeps things light with everyday chatter. As Greg and Larry, Holt and Jake talk to people in the neighborhood to get information for their mission. Next up, we're back with Holt when Jake strolls in looking like a human rain cloud. Poor guy is moping around because he just broke up with Amy. And when we say moping, we mean full on, the sky is falling kind of sad. Instead of keeping it to himself, Jake starts making some pretty crude comments saying their breakup is all because of Amy's physical appearance. Real classy, Jake. So there he is, whining about Amy's looks, and it's obvious he's just bitter and not handling the breakup well at all. He's practically throwing a pity party, complete with the world's smallest violin playing in the background. Jake's comments about Amy reveal just how bad he's coping with his feelings. Instead of dealing with his emotions like a grown-up, he's acting out and blaming Amy in a really shallow way. It's like he's trying to cover his hurt with a layer of rudeness, but it's not fooling anyone. Jake's got some growing up to do, and fast.
Don't need the burrito.
Meanwhile, the neighbors are still chatting. Another neighbor brings up a mattress sale, and Greg seems unusually interested. This could hint at a deeper story behind his interest in the mattress sale, possibly something personal and undisclosed. In this scene, Captain Holt is speaking, and he's using a mix of sarcasm and dry humor. He goes on to talk about Jamie Lynn, saying she looks just like Jasmine Sanders, who's been on the Maxim Hot 100 list. It's like he's gushing about Jamie Lynn's looks, almost like he's daydreaming or exaggerating how attractive she is. But then, Holt takes a sharp turn into sarcasm, poking funny comments. He mentions the apparent obsession with Jamie Lynn and even jokes about what he finds appealing in women, like a thigh gap. And just when you think it's getting heavy, Holt flips the script with his dry wit again, saying he's off to plow my mistress. It's a super blunt way of saying he's moving on and doing his own thing, probably with a hint of irony. You know what? It's probably best if you check the scene out yourself to know what we're talking about.
Seen Jamie Lynn. She looked exactly like Maxim Hot 100 honoree Jasmine Sanders.
Romped by their boss, the commissioner. They're like rebels with badges, refusing to play by the rules because they're determined to see justice served their way. Captain Holt, always the epitome of order, tells Jake ultimate boss in their detective game, unsure whether to act cool or let loose. Jake tries to mimic the judges. In this next scene, we see Jake and Holt at a gun store. But there's a problem. They can't just walk into a gun store and buy what they need without setting off alarms. So they come up with a plan to bribe the gun store owner to keep their names out of the system. Holt realizes that they're short on cash and someone needs to be the bribe. Jake freaks out about being the bribe like it's the worst thing ever. In a funny twist, Holt and Madeline argue over a stapler. Yep, a stapler. It's the kind of petty fight you only see in sitcoms where office supplies become the battleground for hidden tensions. Then we see Holt's past, with Amy asking what went wrong in 1989. It's like peeling back layers of their captain's mysterious past, one stapler-related revelation at a time. And just when you think it's all serious detective drama, Holt drops a bombshell about Madeline and a career mishap because he refused to, well, you know. It's a moment of honesty wrapped in Holt's dry wit and perfect timing. So which was your favorite scene? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more.